Hi there, my name is Jess, and this is the follow-up video for how to wick a silicone mold. And so we're going to do testing on our sheeps. So what you need to do is, if you don't know how to wick up silicone candles, molds, and like make silicone candles, I've got a video on how to do that. I'll put it up in the cards right here so you can go watch that first. But if you are ready to learn how to test your silicone candle to see which wick is the best, then keep on watching. I have my 3 candles ready. Now this is crystal palm wax that I used, and this is ACS 3, ACS 4, and ACS 5 size wicks. So there are 2 ways you can do this. One, you can light them all at the same time and see which one burns best. Or 2, you can burn them one at a time, keeping track of a timer going at the same time. Like, so you light this one, put a timer on, and then when it's finished, you light this one, put a timer on, and then you obviously record the time, and you light this one, put a timer on, and then at the end you compare all 3. So this is how I'm going to do this one. I'm going to light the 3, the 4, and the 5. I've just put my 3 candles on a heat safe, just as a baking tray with aluminum foil on top, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean. And this is a heat safe surface. It has like a lip here so the wax can't escape. You need to be aware that when you're doing wick testing that it could get messy. If you have a large wick, you know the wax will melt very fast and it will spill everywhere. So I'm gonna light these and we're gonna watch how they burn, and then we'll look at them afterwards, and I will do a time lapse for this part so we're not quietly just like sitting here. And obviously the first thing that I'm going to do is trim these wicks, because we don't want super long wicks while we're testing. This is like for decorative purposes, and ensure that you give your customers instructions on to trim them. You know, we don't want the wicks this big lit. That's just asking for trouble. What was interesting about this was that the middle one, the 4.0 wick, actually went out the first. Then an hour later, this one is out, and this is why we burn on a heat safe surface. Look at this. It is burning the wick directly on the aluminum foil. That's a metal pan that I've got it on. So because this is really dangerous, if you weren't, that would just burn whatever works surface you have it on. And so this actually really surprised me. The 5.0 wick is winning, and it burned the best. These ones leaked out wax a lot faster than this one did. I'm not saying this one didn't leak out wax, but it leaked out wax less fast. So, and also it's still going. So I'll give you an update on how long it went in just a minute. Alright, the 3 candles have finished burning. They've done their test burn. And what was really interesting, remember this was the 3.0. It burned for 3 hours and 30 minutes. This is the 4.0. It burned for 2 hours and 30 minutes. That surprised me. And this is the 5.0. And it burned for 4 hours and 45 minutes. And if you look at what's left over, it's got a nice thin shell, and there's not much wax left over, whereas here the wick must have just been placed so that it just snuck out the side. But here it has a much thicker, on the small wick, it has a much thicker shell around it as compared to the 5.0. So that surprised me. So it's not necessarily the case that a small wick is the best one to go with. It's actually the larger wick in this case for this particular mold. Now, these are like, you know, they're decorative candles. They're not meant to be they're not meant to like burn amazing or anything like that. I mean, you're gonna have leftover wax and you're gonna have spillage from the wax coming at the side. That's just normal regardless if you're using these ones or something small like this. This is pretty standard burning, but you can still make a educated like estimate on the wicks to use. So if I was making this, I would use the 5.0 ACS to make this sheet mold going forward because it burned the best according to my tests. So this is what you got to do. You got to make 3 candles with 3 different wick sizes, like all the same candle, 3 different wick sizes, and test them. Especially if you're going to make thicker ones like this or something like this, a big thick pillar. You got to make at least 3 sizes, test them out, and see what you conclude. And this is the standard for pillar candles and container candles alike. I hope this video was helpful for you. Please leave any comments down below, and if you have questions, I'll answer them for you. Give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel where I do all sorts of DIY videos and candle making and different things like that. Have a really wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.